Hello, team. It's a me. Hello,
Who?
team. It's a me. Hello,
Who?
team. Right, there we go. Okay, coolio. Welcome, everyone. We are doing a funny little thing today. I've had an idea bouncing around in my brain for a little while. And it's, when I say for a little, I mean since this happened. So, throwback to January of 2021, I had a D&D group with four of my closest friends, Kendall, my better half, Hamish, my best mate, Ryan, my other best mate, and one of our very good mates, Chris. We were playing through Forge of Fury from, I can't remember the name of the book, but it's the one that has got like 5 or 6 adventures. Anyway, we were playing through Forge of Fury. What happens was we had this particularly awesome moment. We had a session where the guys are in the Glitterheim, which is like this magical cavern. It's pitch black, but it's filled with like the glistening of these jewels. And the guys like begin on this overlook, looking down into the Glitterheim, which is filled with fungus and rocks and all of these jewels. And at the far end, which would be, I always imagined it to be like 300 meters away, there's a small lit staircase that goes up to a doorway. Um, and then there's some torches there, so like they can pretty much just see like the glittering of these lights and the door in the far distance. And behind them on this loft which they're standing on is a bunch of old dwarven um, sepulchres, sepulchres, whatever the band is called. And there's also lit. So there's just this dark expanse with glittering all through it. And what ended up happening was, in classic fashion, the person who was playing the tabaxi got all crazy about collecting jewels, runs out, starts collecting jewels all through here. The guy's like, okay, cool, that's fine. You do you, but be careful. There was a real specific bit where they're like, you don't have a torch. And she's like, but I've got dark vision. So she's like, just being a literal meme. And she runs off collecting these jewels, and the rest of the party, the three of them, start traversing their way through this fungi. Eventually, what happens is there is an otyug. I think it's called an otyug. It's this big rock thing. It's got like a big mouth in the middle, and I think it's got one eye. And it's got three big arms, and anyway, they like to eat stones. And what ends up happening is she collects this. The tabaxi collects this massive bag of stones, of jewels, and kind of gets back to the middle, and they get attacked with this otyug. And it is mean, it is nasty, it's not worth fighting. So there's this essentially this chase where, wow, sorry, I'm shaking, where they try to run to this doorway. What ends up happening is there's a furbolg. I think he was a paladin. He might have been a druid. Oh, I think he's a druid. This furbolg druid who essentially hodors the path and allows everyone else to escape. And what ends up happening is they all get to this doorway. The three of them get to this doorway. The Furbolg cleric is left fighting this Otyuk. And essentially, he tries to get away, but he can't. I can't remember exactly why. And there's this one specific moment. This is Ryan. Ryan is an amazing DM. Arguably the best storyteller, the best DM, one of the best humans I've ever met. A very good friend of mine, Ryan Knighton. He's also like I would say, one of New Zealand's top improv comedians, and he also runs a actual live play D&D show called Saturday Nights D&D, and that's actually done. I think it's the first Saturday of every month at our local game shop here in Palmerston North in New Zealand. So anyway, he has this moment where this Otyuk is bearing down on him, and I can't remember what he uses, but he essentially he uses a spell like cast light or something like that, and he flavors it as the guys get to this door. They turn around, they can't see anything. They can just hear this thing yelling. They can hear Ryan's character, the Furbolg cleric, yelling, and he yells, "On my mark!" And the rest of the guys turn around, they look, and they pull out their bows. One of them's a ranger. There's a rogue. And the other one was, I think he was a Goliath barbarian. And they all sort of get ready, and Ryan's character, his shield glows, and the symbol of his god that glows on the shield, and then he lifts his hammer up and casts light on his hammer. So he has this like bright glowing hammer, and from that, the rest of the party can actually see down into the Glitterheim and see him there, and they like loose a couple of arrows, and Hamish's character, who's the Goliath, goes sprinting down. There's this mad dash where Ryan's character, the Furbolg cleric, is just lighting this place up. There's this little beacon of light silhouetting this gigantic monstrous creature that's standing like another 5 foot taller than him. And there's a scuffle between them. He's holding his hammer up. The Otyugh like comes down and attacks him once or twice. They're firing off arrows. And in this climactic scene, the rogue and the tabaxi fire off these arrows, which I think one of them crit, if I remember correctly. It was amazing. Hamish's Goliath gets to Ryan's cleric just as like one of the final blows comes down, and he grabs him and swaps places and essentially shields the cleric with his body, takes this hit, and then I think he finishes him off with like an axe. And then they raid the corpse like they do, and they cut out the fucking gizzard and get all the stones, and it was just really, really, really cool. And ever since it happened, I've been trying to figure out a way. This is annoying. This shaking's annoying. Sorry, bro. I've been trying to figure out a way to immortalize specifically that moment. I have this in my mind, this picture of the cleric holding the hammer up and just sort of with a wash of light in this pitch blackness, and then it just washes across the front of this Otyugh, as it bears down on him. And his character is this big guy. I think he was wearing plate. And he specifically had a big metal helm on that had antlers coming off of it. And that bit specifically, and I can just picture those two things like silhouetted against each other. And I've been trying to figure out a way to do it. I tried learning Blender to figure it out. I tried messing about with Hero Forge to make the character to do something with it. Like I was going to make like a diorama of it with minis. I've tried a billion ways. And as I've sort of gotten to this point in my drawing journey recently with this last, like, for lack of a better term, ADHD, like obsessive, latest obsession, which happens to be drawing, I'm sort of been formulating how I can have this moment, and I want to figure out how to draw that specific silhouette, that picture. I think I can do it. I reckon I can do it. I want to do that. And then I was like, well, it would be cool to do like a full story of it. And one of the people I've been looking into is this guy, Tim McBurney, I believe his name is. Where did I put my pen? Tim McBurney, there it is. And he does line art and color. And he's a comic book artist. And I've been following a lot of his stuff. I really like a lot of it. And I was like, shit, why don't I make like a one-page comic, and it can have a few images, and what I really want to do is get like maybe 5 images to put on this page that the players will be able to interpret and understand. And if it works out that someone who doesn't know the story can read it, look at it and go, cool, I see what's happening here. I'm understanding the context. I'm understanding the awesomeness. That's a bonus. But I've got these sort of 3 or 4 ideas that I want to begin today by kind of just hashing out. I don't know how to make a page. I don't know how to do a layout. So what I was thinking of doing, let's go to the paper. Back to the paper. Back to the book. I listen to a lot of Jocko, and he says back to the book all the time. Ayo. So it's back to the book all the time, but maybe my phrase can be back to the page. Right, so we'll start with 1, 2, 3. Let's get 3. First one, we're going to go, I was thinking of having this almost a backward portrait of the guys. We'll call this on the loft. If I can type appropriately. Let me just get my trusty keyboard out. I really like these iMac keyboards. They're tiny, but they're pretty cool. I'm a fan. On the loft. Cool. So we're going to have that one. And then the next one, we're just going to say Yug and the cleric. And then this one is going to be we'll call it a shot at the light. Okay, a hot girl at the lights, or a hot boy, whatever you're into. Hot boy summer, a shot at the light. All right, let me explain this. On the loft, I'm picturing them kind of standing on this loft above the glitter hame with the sepulchres around them, and specifically looking at a silhouette of the four of them standing looking out, because they're lit from behind. It's darkness in front, and then in the far distance you can just see the doorway that's lit. That's what On the Loft is. Otyugh and the Cleric is that one I was talking about just before, which kicks out of this whole idea of having the Otyugh silhouetted by the cleric's light, and then two sort of silhouetting against each other in the blackness. And then the third one, a shot of the light. What I wanted to do is have essentially, like if we're looking at the frame, we're going to have be looking at the back of the tabaxi who's shooting a bow, and then the next one down, like 2 steps. Look at me go using this mirroring. 2 steps down, we're going to have the Dragonborn rogue. He's going to be firing his bow, and then a little further down, like down here somewhere, you'll have just the top of the Goliath. Was that Barbarian? I can't remember. The top of the Goliath barreling down the steps, and they're going to be standing on some steps, and over in the far distance, like over here maybe, there'll be like a little lit, this little bubble of light in the darkness, which is a faraway version of Otyugh and the Cleric. And I think I want to go for those 3 action shots to start with, and sort of see how we go. And what I'm going to begin with is I'm going to go through each one, and I'm super loosely just going to sketch it out. And I'm just going to try and figure out how we might draw that. I don't actually know how far we'll get into drawing it, but we'll give it a go. All right. Boop. Let's get rid of my ugly mug. Okily dokily. Brushes. My beautiful better half has been drawing, and so our brushes are all up the fuck. Brush lens. I made this with transfer. There was a guy. Oh, what's his name? I have to look him up because he specifically shouted out my thing here. Bear with. 1 moment, core. Arcane Artifacts. He's asked about my brushes, and I got them from Sparth. I literally copied them from Runehammer, because he's been Hank Inferno, as I said in my last stream, has been the guy who I've been mostly influenced by. Okay, so we got that. We're gonna get boop. I'm gonna get boop. Cool. Get rid of that. Oh, I'm overheating. Bear with. I'm taking my sweater off. Ugh. I haven't looked in the mirror without my sweater on, so I don't know how stupid and disheveled I look. So if I pop back on and it's even more frightening than normal, I apologize. Okay, where are we starting? We are on the loft. So I'm sort of thinking that it's like, maybe here's the horizon line, and I don't know how. I like. This is a door. You're a little door. You're some stairs. And we're gonna have, maybe if it's just like just the shoulders, the head and shoulders. I don't know. Like, here's one. One of them was short. There's the other one. One of them was giant. There's the other one. And then this one, I reckon, because another panel I was thinking about was essentially having the tabaxi. This is if I was going to try and properly comicify it, as have the tabaxi essentially running off and doing their thing, and everyone being like, "Hey, big hill, you don't know what you're going to get done," and then they're going to do that. Part of it will be them just sort of crawling a wall, because that's how she did it for some stupid reason. She wasn't walking around picking up stones. She was like literally scaling the walls and ripping them out of the walls. And so there'd be one of her scaling the wall and being like, "It's okay, I've got night vision." So this one here, we'll say tabaxi, and you're going to be leaving frame. You can be I reckon this is the cleric. This is the D-born. And this is the Goliath. Fuck, was it Goliath? I'll have to look it up. I actually haven't looked over my DM notes. Yeah, I reckon that's the way to go. Because Furbolgs and Goliaths are pretty big. And so, yeah, I don't know if I have this here, or if, like, this would be better, like, up here. Because the idea was down in the Glitterhane. So we'll say that there's this little path that meanders out this way. Yeah, down the Glitterhane, because it's all very far away, right? And there's these patches of fungus, and maybe this is a big wall. I reckon we move this. And it's something like, there's the staircase that goes up here, and then there's a door, right? So it's something like that, I think, is the way to go. Yeah, I reckon it's something like that is the most ideal way to get that done. Does that look right? Like, I'm not sure how horizon lines and stuff work and how that's supposed to be, but hopefully, maybe if I just draw everything sort of smaller and I make it obvious that this is a big ass fucking wall, right? And then this little path like meanders around here and it goes up, blah, 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 blah. And maybe the fight takes place like here, you know? And these are all bushes and fungus and stuff. And my thinking is that it's all black. And if you see my other pictures, I've enjoyed using exclusively black, white, and erasing to do stuff. So what I was thinking of doing is doing that typical type of thing that I have been doing, which is black, white, and erasing. And then for the jewels, I'll have them, I'll go white, and then I'll just color them ever so slightly. So they'll just have like a green tinge, or like a blue tinge, or a yellow tinge, or a red tinge to them. And I think that's sort of how I'll do that. This is all rock wall. And I'll just sort of have that sporadically out. And what I was thinking of doing is doing it all, essentially all black, and then having the guys like backlit in white maybe, so they're sort of like, they kind of this like white line around them, rather than um, fully painting them in somehow. Because the other thing is that I don't know what I'm doing, so I'm kind of just making this up as I go. But I really need this. Like the key bit here is that this ledge and this thing need to look like they're really far away, and this bit down here, this needs to look like it's down. So it needs to look like they're on a ledge. It's going down. I'm going to have to do some research on that, but I think that's the general idea. That's what I want to do to start it with. All right, let's go Otyug and the cleric. So Otyug and the cleric is, how do I want to do it? I figured I'm actually going to get an Otyug from the internet. And he's got like 3 arms, blah, blah, blah. And there's something like this. I think he's probably got 3 legs too. God, this is a horrendous drawing. It's way too big. Wait, what have I done here? Oh, I was using the wrong lasso tool. Stop it. Go away. I had a different one out. There we go. Pan. If I hold Z and hit fit screen, so we lasso. So we're gonna lasso him, and then we want to make him smaller. Maybe like, I don't know, like that. That feels about right. And then we'll just move him to like here. Yeah, go on. Brush, deselect. Look at me learning hotkeys. So we want him like this, and he's all got bloody big arms. He's all angry. I think they actually have these big clam hands. Just 3 Zoidberg limbs. And then this is hurting it. I'm sure this is exactly how Tim, Booney, and the other professionals do their comic book storylining. And then he's going to have... This doesn't make any sense. Boop, boop. Okay, like this, and I'm just going to give him like big elephant toenails. Yes! Okay. And then I'm just going to go 2 because I really don't know what I'm doing. So we'll just go 2 and that'll just look ridiculous. He looks preposterous. He's got one big eye and he's got this this mouth. This is another thing I learned from Runehammer is that you do the gums before you do the teeth. Yeah. Now, doesn't that look cool? I mean, this is going to be black in here. I've gotten some really nice results from using this method and mixing that with going in with the white afterwards and just sharpening everything up. It's very nice. So that's a mouth. This is an eye. Blech, 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 blech. What a hideous beast. Anyway, actually, I'll move this down. See, this is this is what happens. I just start drawing and I'm like, I'll just change this. I'll just change that. I'll just change this. We're doing a thing, but I'm just going to do this. And then end up doing this, where I've just started drawing this thing. Stop. Okay, anyway, so we have that. And then we're going to have old mate. I might stick another layer. Otyug. We'll just go Otyug. We'll call him Otyug. And this one can be Cleric. And we're going to go Otyug and then change the opacity down. There you go, so I can draw over the top. And the Cleric is like, like here's his helmet. He's got this arm, and his arm's up here, and he's holding a hammer. How's he got it? He's got up. No, so it needs to be like up like this. He's got a fist here, and he's got this hammer. And this hammer is, just looking at my phone, is like boop, boop, boop. Apparently it's an actual hammer. It's not a war hammer. He's just a carpenter. I can't remember. Anyway, so like this, we go boop. So he's going to have some legs, and I imagine that planted real firm, real wide. And his other arm has a shield, and his shield's like this. And this has a blah, 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 and this thing is glowing. So it goes like this, and he's got these 2 antlers. Oh, ha! So maybe I'll move his arm over. And he's got these 2 antlers. Boop. And you're going to be a hammer face. Like it's something like this, and they're standing on a path. And so, but it's all black, essentially. And what you can see, there'll be some bushes here and some bushes here, and maybe there's like little bits of stones everywhere. Oh, it's the mouth on top of his head. Oh, we'll look this up after we finish doing whatever this storyboarding is. We'll look it up. This looks preposterous. Blah, blah. It works. You get the idea. Put a cape on him so we don't have to... Look at that. Who needs to do anatomy when you've got a cape? Apparently, according to Tim Burney, can you tell I've been consuming a lot of his stuff lately? They put capes on superheroes so that the anatomy was easy to draw from the back. That actually instantly makes it look better. Isn't that ridiculous? So we've got some bushes, and I always interpret it as like there's just mounds and dirt and like underbrush everywhere. And you got your mushroom, boop, 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 don't eat that one. And then maybe there's a big mushroom stalk here that's kind of sideways. And it's going to have, how they have the lines under them? You're going to have some dots. I feel like dots is a good thing for mushrooms. Like it's that type of thing. And then there's going to be some more mushies over here. And you're going to be black with white dots. And then there's going to be a big mushroom stalk. Oh, what about a big tall one, like in Satisfactory? I quite like those ones, but they're very like bulbous as such. Yeah, they go like that, and they got these things down here. And they're going to have, yeah, look at that. Here you go. So we've got that. We've got that. Maybe like back behind them in the distance is the loft. Maybe. So you got. It depends on the angle. I kind of had it as more of like a. These are sepulchres, by the way. I kind of had it as I good God. I kind of had it as almost from down below looking up, just to make the size of the Otyug, like significantly bigger. So just sort of down from here, maybe like the horizon line is like here. I don't know. And it's essentially going to be black, except the light will sort of whiten things. So that'll be the contrast. So in reality, you're probably only going to see like this much of the mane of the Otyug, and then this bit's faded, and then you're just going to get just little bits of these, just a little bit of the mushroom so you can see what's going on. And even the druid himself, like the light is emanating from here and a little bit from here, but mostly the hammer. I just watched Fellowship of the Ring the other day again, and yeah, just watched Fellowship of the Ring the other day, and the way I think of how this hammer is lit up is the same way that Gandalf's staff lights up when they're in the Mines of Moria, if you recall. I hope I can go back far enough. There we go. Yeah, so it's sort of it's almost this weird. It's an unnatural light, like it doesn't look right, and it glows brightly, but it emanates way further than what you would imagine. So that's my thinking for this one. So we've got the Otyug and the cleric, and what if I go like this, Otyug, and we're going to stick him on one handy. Oh, Christ, we're not going to do that. I'm going to stick him down here, and I'm just going to go boop boop. Cool. I'm going to get my eraser out. Oop, wrong way. I'm going to boop boop boop. Look at that. The magic of layers, eh? I've just been learning little bits and pieces like this, and that's it. So if we go boop, and then we get Otyug, and we're going to turn you back up to. Okay, we'll leave it. We'll leave it there. Anyway, that looks fine. That gets the point across. So we got that, and then this one, a shot at light, and I think this is going to be the hardest one. I've genuinely got no idea how to draw this because I think it requires foreshortening or back longening. I don't know, but it's a weird perspective. I'll try and draw it as best I can. So bear with me, Tim. So my thinking is that there's this little bubble of light, and then we got old mate. He's got his hammer. He's got his shield. And he's got a helmet. We got some beep beep bleep bleep, and then we've got this thing, and it's like ba ba brr, brr, and then this and this, and there's an eyeball, and it's got some clam clamps, and that's it. Like maybe you can see some bits here and some bits here, but like it's almost like an orb in the darkness, you know? Otyug. You know what I mean? So it's sort of like that, and then I want it to be like the shoulder, and there's a bow. I've done archery. How do you hold a bow? So, assuming they're right-handed, it's not going to be like that. It's going to be the shoulder's going to be back, and there'll be like a hand maybe here. Here's a head. There'll be a cat ear, and then there'll be another arm, and this arm will be holding on to the bow. You know what I mean? And then down a few steps, there's going to be old Mr. Dragonborn. So he's got these two horns, and he looks like a dragon. And he's essentially going to be doing the same thing. So we're going to have his hand, this little scaly rat hand. Want his scaly rat hand, and they need to be kind of aiming in the right direction. He's not, but don't think about it. And it'd be cool to have like that's too big, but an arrow, and the arrow would have to be foreshortened. Same with this one. Do. So the perspective needs to change. Please. It's pointless me putting that there because I've got to draw in the big gelato man himself. What's happened here? B, E, B. Cool. E. Get bigger, please. Here we go. You're way too big now. You know what I mean? So we've got to this perspective is going to have to change. So we got that, and then down here we've got big boy. We'll draw. Maybe we go like this, and it goes. Oh, here. You can see it's just like maybe it gets real small real quick. Here we go. Bang, bang, bang. Now it's just dirt. Yeah. And then you've got big boy Goliath, and he's a big triangle man, and he's running as fast as he. That looks like he's going upstairs. He's running as fast as he can. We're going to catch him because he is the gingerbread man. Now you can see, look at this. Look at this. This is different. This white is not the same as that white. Can I pick? That's not what I wanted. I want white. No. Give me my brush. Brush. Oh, I see. It's popped up in the other window. That's why everything's so confused. Okay. Oh, darn dash neighbor. So you can see that's the right white. Okay, so we're going to go make a black. Bear with. Hang on, I can pull it down here actually. We're going to make a black, and then this. And we're going to go X, and then this one we're going to do is the whitest white that's ever whited a white. There you go. But first of all, we're just going to erase this. Z, fit screen. Brush. Look at me go. I know what I'm doing. So he's got this leg. This leg is going to be here. This one's going to be like here. No. Yes? I don't know. It's good enough. You get the point. Goliath is running and his arm's back here. He looks like Tom Cruise and his other arm's back here. And his big old head's forward. And he's got an axe. And he's running. He might have even thrown an axe. So maybe we're going to have like a spinning axe. Oh, Christ. Let's go smaller again. We're going to have a spinning axe. Yeah. We're going to have some spin lines. You see what I mean? And then pretty much over this way. So it's almost, it's not the Fibonacci code. It's the spiral. It's the spiral, you know? That's it. And then all of this is going to be pitch blackness, except for maybe some sparkles. So you'll be able to see there's like weird little beep, 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 beep. And again, there's going to be like these tiny little sparkles. And maybe for the help of composition, like between the three layers, I'm not sure. Maybe we're going to want to see this again. So maybe we just want this up the top, and then you can see these teeny tiny little things. Maybe you can see some. Oh no, this is all rock. Yeah, this is all rock. This is all wrong rock. Used to know a guy called Rock. He was about as strange as you would think for a man that has the name Rock. There you go. So that's all stone. And then in here's going to be bushes. Little fungi. There's some more bushes. And then, but this is kind of high up, so I need to make this look like it's high up. You reckon? Yeah, I think. Yeah. So, what have we got? We've got on the loft, we've got our boys and the girl, and they're looking down at the glitter home. Move down into it. The next one, everything's turned to custard. Yeah, what have I done here? And it's gone sideways. The Tabaxi got everyone in trouble, as they always do. And now we've got Touchstone was his name. We've got Touchstone, the cleric, facing up against a Furbolg, an Otyugh, sorry. And then for the last panel, we've got this one. So these are the main ones. It'd be cool if we could do like sub panels, but we're going to take these two and we're going to merge them. Merge, 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 merge. Why can't I merge you? Why can't I merge you? Is that because they're different opacities? Maybe. Anyway. Cleric. I've done that in my confusing version. And the Otyugh. Cleric and the Otyugh. Blah, blah, blah. Okay, I like that. What have I done? Oh, here we go. I haven't figured it out, so hello everyone. I love my green shirt. I'm a green guy. I like green colours, although you can see my man titties real bad, and that's upsetting. But anyway, that's why we go to the gym. What the hell was I saying? Oh, yes. So I use Photoshop on my green tablet. A Cintiq 16, I think. Cintiq 16. And Photoshop's on here, but most of the time the pop-up windows open up here on the iMac, and that sucks. And it's really, really annoying. But it's okay. So if I ever just look confused because something's not happening because it should, it's because there's a pop-up screen, and it's very much confused me. It'd be cool if I could do some mini layers. So maybe we'll add a couple more, eh? So we want this one. We want one here and one here. This one is going to be. What's this one going to be? What do I want this to be, everyone? Maybe it's going to be Tabaxi on a wall. Should be small, I reckon. Maybe we can even get a couple in here. So I'm going to draw some lines. There's the arbitrary. And then we're going to have, well, maybe we'll just draw one wide line. Yeesh. There we go. So we're going to have some mushroomy ground here, right? So we've got some mushrooms. Bloop, blip, 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 blip. Wing, wing, shoop. Bling, 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 bling. And this is just bush. Brambles. Oh, brambles implies thorns. There's no thorns. It's just soft ground, some rocks. Yeah, that's how you do a rock. You just go like that and go, what? And then we go like this. And we go, oh, we'll just colour this bit in. Doesn't that look like a rock? And, yeah. And she's kind of like up on the rock face. So we're going to go, here's her head, here are little cat ears, she's a cat lady. And then we're going to go bap, 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 bap. This is horrendous. And maybe she's grabbing at a rock. She's got her body and then her legs all up like this. And she's all like, man, I've climbed on a wall. And then her other legs all like down here, but kind of meh, meh. And climbing on a wall. I think she had a tail. Makes sense. She's a tabaxi. Make it a little less demony looking. So she's up here doing this, and maybe there's like a crystal in the wall. We're gonna put some crystally things. Bling, 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 bling. And she's trying to currently grab that out. Alright? This and gosh, this is terrible. I'm assuming she had pants on. We've had a little hole for her thing. There we go. Phone, make sure nothing bad's happening. Kendall's due home soon. I told her about all this, and I often don't like to tell. I am a person who says that they're going to do a lot of shit and doesn't do anything, which is really frustrating for me, and it must be frustrating for people around me. So, with this whole drawing thing, I decided to kind of keep it a secret until I knew what the dealio was. I think she has like a little mane almost. Don't ask me what that is. I can still see my ugly mug. I apologize. So I didn't tell Kendall, and I felt funny about telling her, but I did. And I mean, this is the thing. Like, people in your life love you, and they want you to succeed. And the good people in your life that love you and want you to succeed, they want to know about the cool shit that you do. Like, if you've got a hobby you've been doing for 20 years, they don't care, right? They don't care if you've been doing um, Muay Thai or floral arrangement for 20 years. They care the first and maybe second time or the third time that you can show them something that is actually translatable to someone who doesn't do it. I think there's too big, right? They care then, but they don't care generally. And that's okay, because you don't care about most shit. Um, but don't be worried or embarrassed. Be like, hey, I'm going to try and do this thing. I'm going to give it a go. It might work out, it might not. Especially if you're a person who tries a lot of things, because it's better to be a person who tries a lot and it doesn't really pull through than be a person who tries nothing and then doesn't actually do anything. You know what I mean? Like, I try a lot of stuff, and I'm glad that I do. I stop trying a lot of things, and that's okay. Sometimes I try it and it works out, sometimes I don't, and that's okay. And she's going to say, in this, let me go to my writing brush, nice and small. It's okay. I've got dark vision. Blip. It's okay. I've got dark vision. Don't worry about me. Okay? So they're going to do this. She's okay doing that. Then maybe the next panel, I was thinking on this page, is because what actually happened was there was a rumble. They noticed a rumble. And they're like, oh, this doesn't seem good. And of course it didn't. It wasn't. I don't know how I do. How do you show a rumble? How do I show a rumble? How do I show a rumble? Do I have one of them drinking like a cup of wine? No. Maybe? No. Oh, a puddle. There's a puddle. And there's going to be ripples. And then they'll be like, because it's a comic, so they'll be like, oh. It'll be like, you know, rumble. Oh, this is really hard. Rumble. B-L-E. Rumble. Like that. There's some dirt and some rocks. Just a thing in the path. Maybe it's just in the path. And there's like top of a. Because we're looking top down now. So we want. We want some bushes. And bushes over here. I need to make this line more of a. Stop that. We're going to make you nice and big. We're going to boop, and then we're going to go whah! There we go. Rumble. We're going to go back to here. We're going to go blah. Maybe one more. There you go. Rumble. I'm shaking my. You can't see it, but I'm shaking my hands. Rumble, rumble, rumble. Okay, so we've got that, and then I think if I wanted to do another one, there was another cool moment where she was literally standing, right? Cat lady was standing right here. Why am I so bad at doing? We'll start with this bit. Cat lady was standing right here. She's like, it's all good. These legs are way too short. She's like, I don't know what you're talking about. There is nothing going on. And I think she was literally standing on a mound. And she's like, what's the deal? What's the dealio? What's your problem, yo? But I think she actually had a sack that had the jewels in it. And she's like, meow, bitch. Look, it kind of looks like Tigger. And then there's like upwards motion. You know what I mean? What's the problem? Rumble, rumble. I don't know how you do that actually. I don't know if this is the right way. I'm not sure. I don't know about this one. Let's can it. Okay. So we've got the cleric and the otyug. So we got this. She's climbing the wall, and then we need. Maybe it's like. This. That's annoying. Is it going to work? No, it doesn't work. Z. Fit screen. Maybe we have. Maybe we do need those panels. Maybe we're going to have old Goliath boy. Ah, I'm big and strong, and he's holding an axe. That's how we know he's a Goliath boy, right? And he's going to say, what was that? And then Dragonborn boy is going to go, he's got horns. And he's going to be down here, and he's going to go, shit, I don't know, man, but I've got a bad feeling about it. I don't know. But it ain't good. Is that how this is going to go? I feel like this needs to be a bit more dynamic, but we'll go with this. Yeah, he's gonna go. What was that? What? What was that? What was that? And he's gonna go. I don't know, but it ain't good. This is ridiculous. And they're on the path, right? And maybe like over here, you can see the door. You know what I mean? So we've got where they're going. It's always sort of in view. Like, I don't know, man. It's not good. And then old Tabaxi lady turns up. Maybe it's the same here. Maybe it's like these guys. No, deselect. Maybe it's these guys. Control? No. Move. Control. No. Option. There we go. Right, so these guys again. And yeah, like that. These guys. And then old lady turns up. And she's standing on this mound. I'm going to go back to this brush. I need to just... I'll change this so it's not the bloody thing. And she's going to be like... I'm a cat lady. She's like, here's my bag. On account of I'm the sheriff. Sheriff Pack. It's a great TV show, that one. Yeah, she's like, it might be Winnie the Pooh, who knows? And she's like, relax, it's fine. Relax. She'll say, relax, it's a cave. Things rumble. Relax. It's a cave. Things, oh, I know. Things. And this is where we see, and we'll draw the mound. The mound has to be very prominent. Mound has to be prominent. We're going to put this in blue, right? In blue and red. I'm going to take it down even a little bit more. Mound must be prominent. Cool. And again, we need to see, maybe this will be condensed down better, but we're going to have just in the background, almost identical. See what I mean? And we have the relax. It's a cave. Things wrong. Yeah, there you go. What are you? Give me back this. Boop, boop. 4:13. We've been going almost an hour. I'm going to cut this off probably about 4:20 in the afternoon because my family will be home and I'm going to get stuff ready. But it's okay. Okay, so we got that, and then this one because there was a cool scene where she actually had to do a dex check because the otyugh comes out of the ground. They like burrow through the ground, and they can sense stones. They can sense like precious stones, and she's got this big sack of them, and it's literally like it's fine, it's not a problem. And so let's look at me a bit more. Yeah, she's like it's. She just has the sack. She's like it's fine, it's all good. We're fine. And then she goes, oh, and I made her do a dex check, and I think she failed. And so she leaps straight up in the air, and this thing comes up and just, sorry for all these with headphones, and just clamps onto her feet. That's right. That's what happened. This thing clamps onto her feet. So we'll have maybe maybe she's trying to jump, and this thing's mouth is just like, oh, wait. I gotta make the teeth better. To be honest, it's a miracle. It doesn't make any sense that their feet just aren't. Yeah, look at that. Isn't that nasty? I'm gonna get you. And then he's got some arms up here. And he's coming through the dirt somehow, so that'll be all pushed away. And she'll be like, ah! Here's her tail. This is how you know it's the cat lady. Oh, she needs a tail here too. Yeah, there you go. Relax. It's a cave. Look, it's a cave. So do we have it? Do we ever sound like rum, blah? Yeah, yeah, like that. This is her legs. Her waist. She's got her arm here. Rumble! And this is ground and rock, and this is its thing, and it's got its clamp arm. And this clamp arm's open. He's going for the full snip. And then maybe just a panel where it's just like these two legs. It's the lady, right? Her legs are clamped together. And we're gonna draw this. Here's her tail. Oh shit, maybe doesn't just get a tail. Maybe we add some comedy in here. Or is it too much? I don't know. Anyway, so this happens and this thing just has her. It's got her. Let's just get rid of all of this. Good brush. I'm gonna go boop 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 bang bang boop bop beep bop boosh bing bop boop bop beep bop boop. And her legs are just in here. This looks like a butt. Her legs are in here, and her arms are like ah, and she's like and she shows it, and it goes clamp. Okay, yeah, clamp, and then what? Then what? What's next? What's next? Boop bop. We need to get to here because this is the goods. This is why I'm here. Is for this picture right here. This is why I'm here. So we need another layer. This is getting wildly out of hand. I did not think that this was going to take this long. Well, I did think it was going to take this. I mean, really, who am I to say? I've got no idea what I'm doing. Okay, so we're gonna have. We need one being like. Oh no, that's my girlfriend. We've run out of time, folks. That's all we've got time for. Kendall's calling me. I'm all finished up. We'll come back to this tomorrow, unless something happens. If not, maybe Friday. Friday? Thursday. Thursday, New Zealand, which will be Wednesday. Pretty much everywhere else in the world that watches things like this. Thank you so much. I'm on Threads now at Storytechnic on Threads. I'm also on Instagram as you know. And yeah, we'll be doing this again. Hopefully, you'll join me in a couple of days' time, and we'll keep going. I'll have a think. Before then, I'm probably gonna have a stab at this picture. I think I'll figure it out. I might dip about and draw it in my sketchbook because I've been finding a lot of success in that. So I might start there before I take it to the what's this called? To the digital. Otherwise, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Oh, I have to awkwardly press the button as we wait.